When driving close to a loaded truck, why should you avoid stopping suddenly in front of it? The truck may not have enough time to stop for you. Foggy conditions can be patchy. This means fog is clearing in some areas but foggy again in some areas. Using the Dubai Police app, find the nearest police station via My Map. It is important not to do this to safely leave the mainstream of traffic. Cut in and drive over the chevron markings. Aggressive driving increases fuel consumption. It is also dangerous and adds to traffic congestion on the steering. The most appropriate use of the fast lane is when overtaking only. Drive faster. Road rules are important for safety and order on the road, and they are applicable to all road users. Action can disrupt the smooth flow of traffic and endanger to other road users. Leaving the main road by cutting in at the end of the slip road. Inexperienced drivers have increased chances of crash risk because they are less able to predict possible problems. This safety system prevents the wheel from locking, which helps increase vehicle control. Anti-lock brake system. You have a green light at an intersection. You can proceed only if the intersection is clear and it is safe to. If you are driving a pickup truck, you should cover your load to stop it from moving around. To inquire about traffic fines using the Dubai Police app, you may use the plate number, TC number, license, and ticket number. Be extra cautious when driving around school children because due to their size, they may be difficult to see. As a sensible and responsible driver on the road, avoid doing this to truck drivers. Blasting your horn with intention to force the driver to drive. You risk being fined, jailed, or your license confiscated and your vehicle impounded if you drive under the influence of alcohol or drug. If you are using the Dubai Police app and under the Community Services category, you may file a labor complaint ahead using mobile phones while driving. Increases the chances of having a collision. You are driving in heavy traffic. Your lane is blocked by a vehicle turning left. What should you do? Wait until the vehicle turns, then proceed. When leaving a roundabout, the right indicator must be turned on. Proceed. You are entering a T-junction and a truck is turning your way. What should you do? Allow for more space to turn. Make driving safe and relaxing for all. Avoid doing these. Flashing headlights or honking the horn to intimidate. When driving near pedestrians, you may need to give way or stop if necessary. Why? Pedestrians have priority. Why is it important to use the early warning device if your vehicle breaks down on the road? Because drivers need plenty of warning if there is a broken down vehicle. When turning at a junction, what should you be careful of if there is an approaching tall vehicle? A motorcycle may be following it, which is difficult to see. You wish to overtake safely on a two-way road. You must not overtake if there are two solid yellow lines in the center of the road. In a crash, serious injuries often result when people are thrown into each other or to parts of the vehicle. How do you prevent this from happening? The driver and the passenger should be wearing seatbelt properly. When leaving the freeway, it is important to be in the correct lane well before the exit. Other drivers. If you are passing a truck on a highway, why should you hold your steering firmly? The turbulence around the vehicle may cause vibration. As a driver, your driving must not expose pedestrians to any danger. It means you shall stop whenever required in order to avoid danger. There is a collision ahead and you see an ambulance with lights and sirens activated. How do you deal with it? Allow it to pass by, giving way to it. Ideally, children should ride in the back seat of a vehicle until 10 years old. If you are following a motorcycle, this is dangerous and should be avoided. Tailgating, which may intimidate the rider and may result to loss of control. Driving on a congested road, which scenario can potentially be a hazard to you? A car in front reversing out of a parking lot. As a pedestrian, what should you do if you see or hear an emergency vehicle? Do not use the pedestrian crossing. One must focus on driving because safe driving requires full attention. If you want your vehicle to travel in a constant speed, you may use this safety system. Conventional cruise control. If you are driving on highway exits, the lane support systems may occasionally provide false alerts. Driving hazard is defined as anything that can cause the driver to change direction, position, or speed of the vehicle. Which one is a hazard? A roundabout ahead. AIM. The Sheikh Mohammed program inside the Dubai Police app is meant for tracking your fitness. Most traffic violations, like beating the red light, is usually caused by bad attitude of the driver. Which of these services can be obtained using the Dubai Police app? Vehicle inspection request. Drivers using mobile phones. Commit mistakes in judgment. Your car is equipped with an airbag. Why do you still need to wear a seatbelt? Because airbag does not replace the seatbelt. If lights. Look out for and give way to pedestrians, cyclists, taxis, buses, trucks, and motorcycles, even if they do not have priority, because this is part of defensive driving and avoiding crashes at all. When reversing at a parking lot, drivers need to be extra careful and look out especially for persons with disabilities. When parking your vehicle, it is important to ensure that your vehicle does not in any way block other traffic users. Because they are difficult to see, be extra careful while driving at night for motorcyclists and cyclists that are not using their headlights. In good conditions, you should leave at least a 2-second gap between you and the car in front. When should you leave a larger gap? When the driving conditions are poor, such as sandstorms or rain. Costs. To request for road closure permit using the Dubai Police app, you will first need a no objection letter from RTA and aggravated. In case of collision, those involved must find the safest place immediately. You're driving on a busy street and something caused you to brake and change direction. What just happened? You just avoided an actual hazard signal. You start losing focus and drift on across the other lane. It is time to take a break from your driving. Why is it important to use rear-facing car seats for your infant? Rear-facing car seat distributes the craft of the pelvis, chest, and shoulders. If a driver is weaving in and out of traffic without indicating, it is most likely due to bad attitude of behavior of the driver. Foggy driving conditions call for a change in driving style. It may to reduce distractions inside the car. You have just changed lanes and then driven into a parking spot. What should you have done to be safe? Use your indicators properly. Why is it important to scan the road scene when you drive? You are more likely to anticipate potential force on the entire body. If you are using an Android smartphone, you may download the Dubai Police app from Play Store. Hazards. Why should you exercise patience when following a slow-moving truck? Its load may be too heavy to move faster. You want to drive straight through an intersection where there are no lights or signs. You must give way to any vehicle on your left. When being overtaken, you must slow down and keep to the right. Safe tailgating or driving too close to the vehicle in front may cause other drivers to suddenly change lane continuously. A simple act of flicking a cigarette butt can be very dangerous if It lands on a motorcyclist or a cyclist, while driving a head check means looking over your shoulders to see through the side window. You do not become a hazard to yourself or others because you are calm and in control of yourself. Which part of the body should a seatbelt be worn on? On the bony structure of the body across the... You are about to make a U-turn. You must have a clear view of traffic on the road. In both directions. If your vehicle breaks down on the road, make sure other drivers can see you and use your hazard lights or lift your bonnet. Move to the right lane. You want to report a traffic violation. Which feature of Dubai Police app allows you to do this? We are all police. We deal with heavy trucks on the road by not driving in its blind spot. Continue. UAE traffic law requires drivers to use vehicle lights during nighttime as well as during the day when the view is unclear. Why? Road users are harder to see during night. Driving on a congested road, how can you reduce your reaction time when responding to hazards? Control your speed. Cover the brake time. At least 2-second gap refers. Safe following distance to the vehicle in front pedal. If you are involved in a collision, you may take pictures of the incident too. Be shared only with the police, not signaling while lane changing causes. Attention to other drivers. If you are already inside the roundabout, how should you deal with an emergency vehicle? Keep moving. Exit the roundabout and clothing are difficult to see. Select the 2 important considerations to avoid hazards. Scanning, anticipating. What is the danger when you position your car very close to a heavy truck on the road? The truck driver may not see you. This helps to reduce your stress while driving. Planning your trip in advance. Once an emergency vehicle has passed you, what is the best thing to do? Do not follow the emergency vehicles. One of the ways to drive safely around school children is to anticipate sudden movements, especially around. How is driving at night different from driving during daytime? Pedestrians, especially those wearing dark. What can happen if you drive too fast while entering a bend? The vehicle will be pushed outwards. This medicines. Large roundabouts will usually have rumble strips. Just before the roundabout. Since you are driving for a short distance, there is a need to wear a seatbelt. Suits the conditions. Applying the principle of 3 SSS, what do you do to ensure the pedestrian knows where you are? Use sound by lightly tapping on the horn to communicate your presence. Drive on the safe side and avoid jumping the queue just to get a few meters ahead. School buses. Driving under the influence of alcohol is punishable by 24 black points plus fines by the court. Which of the following will make you a more dangerous driver? Drinking alcohol and also taking certain. To properly wear a seatbelt, it must not be twisted and must Restrain only one occupant. Select the statement in terms of importance during foggy conditions. Slow down gradually and drive at speed that proper use of indicators will show. You take into consideration all other road yet. Drivers who jump the queue just to get a few meters ahead cause. Other drivers were annoyed in the traffic situation down vehicle. One way to drive safely around pedestrians is anticipate sudden movements or changes in. If the traffic signal is red, emergency vehicles may cross and proceed after a brief stop. Give way by moving to the left or right without crossing the red signal. What is one way of telling that you are becoming a more skilled driver? If you are driving at a time when you would normally have been sleeping. Users. As a safe driver, how would you deal safely with other road users, especially when turning at a junction? Look out for motorcyclists. If you do not, direction. How does a seatbelt keep you safe in case of a crash? Seatbelts hold you securely in place. You may not see them. What is wrong with staying inside a vehicle that is broken down on the road? Other drivers may not see and hit the broken. This is very important to safely deal with pedestrians. How big is that safe space? At least 1.5 meters. The lane support systems typically starts to engage at speeds above. New drivers are more likely to crash because they often drive too close to the vehicle in front. The smart camera of the Dubai Police app is an all-in-one reporting tool for vehicle obstruction, police eye, and we are all police. When must you drive with lights on? From sunset to sunrise. If your vehicle breaks down on the road, think of your safety and do not stand in front of your vehicle. In which of the following areas is overtaking not allowed? Intersections and roundabouts. This safety system improves the stability of the vehicle by detecting and reducing the loss of traction. Electronic stability program. It is not safe to use a mobile phone while driving, even with a hands-free kit, because this reduces the driver's concentration from the driving task. Mobile phones distract drivers and cause them to change direction suddenly. Using the Dubai Police app and under the Criminal Services category, you may file a criminal complaint. How do you safely exit the main road and without disturbing the flow of traffic? Signal your intention, enter the slip road early. If you are involved in a collision, it is very important to stay calm and avoid argument with the other driver. Placing the baby car seat at the rear seat is safer because front passenger airbag may deploy and injure the baby. When you are tailgating another vehicle, it means you are driving too close to the vehicle in front. If you must drive through flood, it is best to engage low gear, low speed, rev the engine while slipping. A safe behavior in the event of a collision is to check with the other people involved whether anyone is injured. Driving in heavily congested traffic can be particularly dangerous. Be more safe by slowing down and watching for hazards. If you find yourself tailgating another vehicle, it is best to Slow down and increase the following distance. Some actions will make driving in fog more dangerous, like stopping in the middle of the road. On main roads and highways, emergency vehicles use the left lane. You must give way by moving to the right. What is the main reason for driving more slowly during nighttime? Pedestrians are harder to see, especially those wearing dark clothing. A driver's license, car registration, and Emirates ID are important documents too. Show to authorities for inspection in case of accident. The clutch. While merging onto the main road, some of the vehicles on the main road swerve to avoid collision. What just happened? The driver may have started accelerating from the end of the slip road. You are traveling on the freeway and you missed your exit. What is the best thing to do? Drive on and look for the next exit. When should you start wearing the seatbelt? As soon as you are seated in the vehicle. There is a single white broken line painted in the center of a two-way road. Where must you drive? You must keep to the right of the line. As a safe driver dealing with heavy trucks on the road, what should you avoid doing? Argue with the truck driver who may be tired due to long working hours. Before entering a roundabout, why is it important to decide where to exit? So that you can choose the correct lane of entry. These are some of the important skills that will make you a safe driver. Knowing what hazards to look for in different situations. Your drivers on mobile phones are unable to judge safe gaps in traffic. When towing a trailer, this is one of the things you should avoid. Driving in the fast lane. Driving through flooded area require drivers to be extra cautious because it is difficult to guess how deep the water is. Allowing for longer gap between your vehicle and other vehicles mean you allow for unexpected actions of other drivers. When must you drive with your headlights and taillights on? Between sunset and sunrise, and when the weather conditions reduce visibility. Hills, driveways, intersection are among the hazards when overtaking. So that seatbelt can best provide protection it is designed for. It must be firmly adjusted and must be worn properly. You should not try to overtake a truck that is signaling to turn because the truck needs more space to turn. You may cause tension or cause other drivers to be distracted by doing this. Following too closely or tailgating. If a variable message sign, VMS, shows a speed limit, that speed limit takes priority during that time. You will be a safer driver if you drive just a little bit slower because you can respond to hazards by slowing down quicker. When giving way to emergency vehicles, it is not allowed to use the road shoulders. During foggy conditions, stopping in the middle of the road can start a chain reaction collision. Make your journey safer and more pleasant by planning journey in advance. Rumble strips are meant to warn drivers of approaching hazard. In case of congestions, look out for emergency vehicles. That will use the road shoulders, if any. Why is tailgating dangerous? It could cause a very serious crash involving multiple vehicles. You drive and stop at an intersection that has a red traffic light. Can you use a mobile phone while you wait for a change of lights? No. How long does it take to learn to be a good driver? Many years of driving practice. Driving under the influence of alcohol is very dangerous because judging the driving risk becomes more difficult. Staying in your lane is important. It is called lane discipline. Violation of lane discipline in Dubai carries a fine of. Which feature of the road causes the drivers to feel strong vibration if they drive over them? Rumble strips. Under the Community Services category of the Dubai Police app, you may find Leaders at your service. Which safety system is designed to support drivers keep within recommended speed limits? Intelligent speed assistance. Drivers using mobile phones tend to have difficulty staying in the lane. When passing a pedestrian crossing, the proper behavior is wait until pedestrians have completely passed. How can throwing any debris or garbage on the road be dangerous? Some road users may react in an unpredictable manner. You are driving on a highway and you just missed your exit. What is the safest action? Move on and take the next exit. Lanes if possible. In case of collision, those involved are required to notify the police. Within 6 hours of the collision. What is one way of telling that you are becoming more skilled as a driver? You make correct decisions before your driver instructor tells you what to do. Why should you look carefully if passing a stopped vehicle in front of you? That vehicle may be giving way to a pedestrian who is trying to cross. On internal roads, emergency vehicles make their way between vehicles. Please give way by moving to the left or right. Across the road, learner drivers will consistently make good driving decisions. Only after a lot of experience and practice. You are overtaking. One way to know when it is safe to return to your lane is to wait until you see both headlights of the vehicle you have overtaken. In a crash, a driver wearing a seatbelt has a chance to control the vehicle because seatbelts hold you securely in place. Just before you enter an intersection, the traffic signal turns red. What should you do? Stop! What is the purpose of fitting many modern vehicles with night mirrors? To reduce the possibility of being dazzled by the lights of a vehicle, how do you avoid aquaplaning? By slowing down, increasing following distance, and traveling in middle lane. If a conventional cruise control is engaged on cruising mode, it may be disengaged by stepping on the brakes. In an open highway, it can be dangerous when overtaking a heavy truck due to strong winds. The traffic light in junction turns green before proceeding. Ensure your exit is clear. You are approaching a green light that's been on for some time. You should be prepared to stop. One of the difficulties of driving through flood is you cannot see any hidden dangers. Smoothly. When driving around school children, do not assume they know how to behave in traffic. A person is walking across a footpath that you are going to cross. How should you behave to be safe? Drive slowly, give way to the pedestrian. Once you successfully pass the flooded area, it is important to Restore brake efficiency. This safety system is designed to prevent collision with the vehicle in front. Forward collision mitigation. A slip road on a highway is provided a good distance from the start to the end. Why? To allow merging vehicles to accelerate and join the traffic behind, you need to increase following distance when driving during the night. Why? So you will have more time to react. Than a car, how can staying calm help you when driving in a congested road? It helps you stay in control of yourself. Driving slowly on the fast lane is equally dangerous as overspeeding. Driving when tired can cause you to sleep at the wheel and can result to crashes. Driving on a congested road, which scenario may create a hazardous situation to you? Taxis suddenly stopping for passengers. Why must you indicate clearly your intention to change direction using the indicators? To ensure that you do not expose yourself or others to danger, after making the turn with the indicator on. Check that it is turned off. In which of these places are you not permitted to overtake? At intersections and roundabouts. Once the conventional cruise control is engaged, the driver may take off her foot from the accelerator pedal. The vehicle driver assistance systems are different from manufacturer to manufacturer. When the electronic stability program gets activated, the system may also slow down the vehicle by reducing engine power. If you are following a motorcycle, be aware that motorcycles may be able to accelerate and/or stop faster. A yellow traffic light means that you must stop, providing it is safe to do so. In your rear view mirror, one of the many techniques to safe driving is to try to predict what other drivers will do next. In order to avoid hazards on the road, it is required for the driver to have the skills to forecast what may happen. When about to exit the bend, accelerate only after traffic ahead is clear and the front wheels are straightened. You are driving in a congested, busy area. How can you prepare for hazards in this environment? Slow down and cover the brake pedal. Driving at your best condition means not driving when sleepy or tired. How should you drive into a bend in the road? Slow down gradually. How does wearing a seatbelt prevent injuries or death during severe accidents? Vehicle occupants are restrained in their place by seatbelt. If you are involved in a collision, turn your hazard lights on and exit the vehicle. Through the doors away from live traffic. Driving in a relaxed manner can be achieved by driving at slow lane when possible. If your vehicle breaks down on the road, you and your passenger should stay outside of the vehicle and away from traffic. Rev up or speed up where there are pedestrians or on busy streets. Do not do this. Driving near or alongside a school bus, why should you give due consideration to the school bus driver? To avoid any sudden actions that can startle the school bus driver, what type of traffic accident can you report using the Dubai Police app? Minor accidents. In case of emergency, the traffic light turns green. This means You may proceed if safe to do so. Move. When on freeway, never travel on the leftmost lane except when overtaking. How should you leave a freeway? Be in the correct lane, signal, and adjust your speed when on an exit. Using mobile phone affects the focus of drivers. It shows in their inconsistent driving. Flashing headlights to intimidate others. Increases risk of a crash. In a collision, what is the danger to driver or passengers who are not wearing a seatbelt? The vehicle may stop suddenly, but unbelted passengers continue to. When there is flood, it is best to avoid driving through it, if at all possible. The forward collision mitigation system may not perform well under this condition. Sharp bends on the road. Save People Life is a service category inside Dubai Police app. Using this feature, you may report human trafficking crimes. High beam lights help you see clearly when driving at night. Do not use high beam on areas with street lighting. Others in the car. Ignoring priority rules is when drivers are not stopping on stop signs. Allowing extra travel time. Is one of good driving practices. At pedestrian crossings, footpath, bridges, viaducts, or tunnels. These are some of the areas where motorists are not allowed to park anytime. If this system is activated during harsh braking, the driver will feel brake pedal pulsation. Anti-lock brake system. When dealing with vulnerable road users, what is important to remember? They do not have any protection, unlike drivers or passengers. What can happen if another road user throws garbage or debris on the roadway? A chain collision can happen. In an uncontrolled roundabout, priority is given to vehicles coming from the left. If you need to, how would you pass a motorcycle? Provide enough space as you would a car. When you are observing the 2-second rule while following another vehicle, it means you are not tailgating. Braking early when stopping is important for gradual slowdown. It also gives a lot of warning to the vehicles behind. You are feeling sleepy, but you decided to drive for an important appointment. You are now a hazard to yourself and to others. Which safety system is designed to warn of vehicles that cannot be easily seen using the mirrors? Blind spot monitoring. When you find yourself overspeeding, it is best to reflect and check on your thinking. When approaching a pedestrian crossing, drivers must stop and give way to pedestrians. When traffic is not controlled by signs or police officers, you must give way to vehicles from the main road to minor road. You are dazzled by the lights of an oncoming vehicle. You should slow down and move to the right if safe to do so. Why should drivers be more careful when driving near pedestrians? Some pedestrians may have impaired hearing or vision. If you are frequently tailgating other drivers, this may increase the risk of a crash. If an emergency vehicle is trying to cross a red signal, what should other vehicles with green signal do? Vehicles facing green signal must stop completely and wait. When driving, how can you avoid the many hazards on the road and be a safe driver? by anticipating and forecasting what may happen. When following a motorcycle, it is important not to tailgate because this may intimidate the rider and may result in loss of control. Extra care must be taken when driving near schools because young kids may cross the road without looking. At what speed should you travel on the road? At a speed shown on a speed limit signs or slower, depending on when merging onto the main road. Why is it important to match the speed of the vehicles on the main road? To avoid disrupting the flow of traffic. If you are going straight after exiting a 2-lane roundabout, which lane should you enter from? Enter from the left-hand lane. Which example is usually the result of using mobile phone while driving? Speeding up or slowing down without reason. If the collision is minor and with no injuries, reporting of the incident to the authorities may be done via the Dubai Police app. If there is speed humps on the road, drivers should slow down and be alert because pedestrians may use this point to cross ramp. You are in a crash. The police are not in attendance. Someone is injured. What should you do? Report the crash to the nearest police station. Road conditions. Driving in flood is difficult because you cannot see if there are deep holes along the path. After a collision, a motorcyclist wearing a helmet was injured. What is the best thing to do? Do not attempt to remove the helmet. You are not very sure how some pedestrians will react. How would you deal with this safely? Lower your speed. Ensure you can give way or stop if necessary. Your vehicle has broken down on the road. When must you use a reflective triangle? Once the vehicle is safely positioned, proper use of indicator provide. Other drivers time to react appropriately. When reporting a traffic accident using the Dubai Police app, which 3 information is required? Vehicle plate number, license number, picture of damages. When a truck is turning into a congested roads, what can you do to make that turn easier? Allow for more space to maneuver.